I went to the beach the other day because I really enjoy watching the sea. I also enjoy watching a cozy fireplace and other people work. That's just who I am. On the way to the beach, I had to walk, and then I saw a graffiti. The graffiti was like that. It was it was all black. There was no color. It was a large Star of David. And then the equal sign, and then a swastika. And I was honestly not sure if this is a graffiti that supposed to be against Jews or against Nazis. Because if you think about it, there's nothing more insulting for a Nazi to be compared to a Jew. So, I don't know. Oh man, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. And one of them is AI. And there's many beautiful things coming out of AI. I saw this website. I stumbled upon a website, and basically how it works is you are like in a self shooter game. You are like a first person shooter game. And then it's like a book, meaning, boom, there is a script presented to you on the screen, but the background of the screen is a scene of which you are, the scene of which you are like right now in the book. And meaning if you're like in a room, whatever, then they're going to show you like the room, but it's a static image. It's not like a video game. And then there is a text presented to you, and in that specific scene, it was like a street, a city street, and there was like a woman facing me, and she was kind of like futuristic looking. She was pretty hot, but she was futuristic, and it's like cartoonish. So it's not like South Park cartoonish, but it's like AI-ish cartoonish, if you know what I mean. And under that, there is a text presented to you, a few lines, what's happening, and then you can answer. Gives you a chance to like answer, and your answer basically, your input, your answer. Let's say you're speaking to her, or let's say the AI gives you the opportunity to type in something. You can actually set the scene of your book. You can create your book. You can participate in the book, and then the AI responds to your input. So it's basically you're in charge, and the AI is in charge, and the AI is responding to you, and you're responding to the AI, which I think is really cool and it's beautiful. Because at least it requires you to use your imagination, and it's kind of like a fantasy thing. And I'm really for anything that requires you to use your imagination and really create. Maybe if I can use the words of, if I'm not mistaken, his name was André Bazin. He was a French film. I think he was a professor or like critic, but he was pretty involved in the Nouvelle Vague I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The New Wave movement in French cinema. André Bazin, I think his name was. And he said the cinema is about creating, and I'm not like one-to-one on that. The cinema is about creating a world that is more in harmony with one's desires, okay? So, in a sense, this kind of like game / book thing that you're writing on the go, you're writing part of it, and the AI is writing part of it, and together with the AI creating this kind of like universe. I think this is beautiful, because especially if you have the peace of mind to do that and you're not really worried about other like real life stuff, and you have the peace of mind to just like go and do it, which I don't really have right now, which why I stopped doing it. I just tried it. But the bottom line is, and then there was like a pretty hot futuristic girl, which she's like the other character that I'm like was, you know, going through this kind of like adventure with. And then like after 5 minutes of like back and forth, I don't know how I got into that I have, because she was like running away from someone, and I said like, yeah, I have this hideout in the city. And then within like the moment that we arrived to this hideout, which I like invented, I try to bang the shit out of it. I'm like, listen, I know this is ridiculous, but what I'm saying is, like, I am such a, what is the word I'm looking for? Corrupt person, like spiritually, that within 5 minutes of playing this fantasy game, I am trying to bang the AI character, basically my imaginary character, trying to bang, and I'm trying to take it, and I believe that the AI is set up like that it doesn't allow you to do it. So it doesn't say you're not allowed. It's just creating kind of like situations that cock block you from doing that. So I'm like starting to type that I'm massaging the character because she was stressed. And anyway, the character kept on avoiding me, and all of a sudden there was like a partition in that hideout that the AI character went behind to sleep. So at that point, when I realized there is no chance that this game, book, whatever that was, is going to let me bang that chick, I was like, okay, I'm out, because I don't have the time. I don't really have that peace of mind to sit right now at home and go to this adventure with an AI. I mean, it's beautiful, and again, if I had the right peace of mind to do that, I would love to do it, but I just did not, and that's where I stopped. But I'm just saying, like, I'm such a corrupt person that it took me like 5 to 10 minutes of playing it that I try to have sex with this with this character, and I'm like, I'm such a horrible person. I really am, and I mean, what can you do? So that's for that. What else do I have on my agenda? Oh yeah, I was making coffee earlier today. And I was like, do you remember COVID? And I answered myself, yeah, I remember COVID, because COVID was fantastic. It was freaking, for me, COVID was great. I know some people are making a fuss out of it and how horrible it was and blah 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 and the government and they control and they inject this. Listen, man. Just the fact that you were forced to stay home, that alone was for me phenomenal. I mean, I know some people cannot handle it. I gotta tell you, I can handle it for years. I can stay home and avoid people for months. And if you have that type of personality disorder, and I'm sure it has a name, because anything that is not involving productivity and meeting people has been categorized by society and by so-called expert as a mental disorder. But let me tell you what it is. It's not a mental disorder. It's just I fucking hate you. And I don't hate you like I hate people. I love people, there are great people, and let me tell you, I met people who helped me and I love them and they've been great. It's just that human nature is, I don't know. I think like human nature in general pretty suck. And it's not just human nature. I mean, it's just mammals fight over resources. Like I love cats, but the biggest enemy of cats is other cats. And it's just the number one reason for cats being, traffic and stuff like that, okay, but the number one reason of like the other animal that is most dangerous to cats is other cats. And I think like humans are not different in that sense, that we are like really horrible to each other. And I'm like at an age where I'm like, I just don't, and I lived so many years in big cities with so many people around me, like really a lot of people around me. And I'm like, I just don't want to see people. And I'm sorry, it's not like I want to go with a gun tomorrow and shoot. No, like, okay, like I'm not this type. I'm just like, if I given the chance to sit at home alone, like with my cat, or just like one person that I can tolerate for a while, or listen to a podcast or read something interesting, I would rather do that than be around many people that are just freaking noisy and yelling and are germy, and they always have. I believe that was Jordan Peterson who said, a human being is a chimpanzee full of snakes. And I love it because it really, for me, it really nailed it. Chimpanzee in a sense of like everything you think about a chimpanzee. And then full of snakes is that people always have those agendas, and they see you and they start like, what can I get out of you? Can I get money out of you? Can I get a resource out of you? Can I get something? Like there's not many people are just like, I just want to. No, they're always like something. Yeah, there's always scheming and dealing. And I'm like, you know what? I am not interested in that at all. At all. That's why I like, and I'm not rich by any measure, but there's a lot of like rich people, and from even super. That's why they tell you, oh, they're so lonely. Yeah, they're lonely because people just want their money, or all the people that are around them are just like snakes who are like looking to get money out of them, and they're like, they cannot handle it. They cannot find any person that really loves them for who they are and want to be with them and just hang out and be their friend. There's always somebody who's trying to scheme, like that bitch ass guy who was like Freddie Mercury's in the movie boyfriend. And then they want to take advantage of you. I'm not saying everybody. You got to make your own choices and filter out how. But I'm making a generalization. Yes, I'm talking in general, and that's like statistically a lot of people like that. And I know it's the way the world is, but what I'm saying is, in that sense, COVID was for me great. Because whatever that. And anyway, so that was one thing. And then even when you went out, you had to put some shit on your face. And I didn't have to put anything on my face and feel uncomfortable that I'm doing it. It was the norm. So I could filter out all the freaking germs. I don't know where your freaking face and hands were an hour before I'm standing next to you to the supermarket. I don't know. For all I care, you could have been, I don't know, eating some ass, and now you're standing next to me in line, and I have to breathe all the germs and bacteria that you've been pushing into your freaking face. And now I need to participate in that cloud of germs and all of a sudden you have a mask and I have a mask. And maybe they don't work for COVID, but they definitely work for some stuff, and some, at least for saliva. I don't know. It works for something. It's not for nothing that doctors are using it in hospitals and shit like that. There is a scientific reasoning behind it. So and then I didn't have to freaking see your face, and were you talking, I couldn't understand. I could just say, listen, I don't understand you, and get it. That was beautiful. And this is like really complete, that I could be with my sunglasses, with my headphones, and I'm not talking about those in-ear bullshit. I'm talking about like a freaking big headphones that cover half my head, and then I can put the mask on, and it's just like putting a helmet on. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be you. Like, this is beautiful. That was for me. I loved it. And fuck you. I don't want to see you. I'm sorry about my language. I don't want you to see me, and please don't talk to me. I don't know you. And unless we have some kind of business or an affair, I'm not interested in anything you have to say to me on the line to the supermarket or when you stand behind me in the ATM. I'm not interested, Mr. Uber driver. I'm not interested in it. I can put my mask on, I can put my sunglasses on, I can put my headphones on, and just be and that was freaking amazing. And let me tell you, I do miss those days. Unfortunately, I'm not the only one. I know nature was having a great time, and the canals in Venice started to clear out. There was less, kind of like a lot of pollution was really, where it's supposed to be in like places at home where you have trash cans and people are not driving as much. So that was great. That was freaking great. And let me tell you, all those animals, no new animals was discovered. I'm going off topic here, but like I'm reading every once in a while on the news, whatever, website I'm ending up with. Oh, a new species has been discovered. An exciting discovery of a new species that has been discovered near the Antarctic, and a worm that has never, and a fish that was never in the depth of the sea, that has never been seen before, and it has testicles on his nose, and blah blah blah. And then I'm thinking, this fish is probably saying, shit, they found shit, they found me. I've been hiding here for freaking millennia. I was having a great freaking time with the balls on my freaking nose. I was hiding. I was like, please Do not find me. I'm like at the depths of the ocean, under the ice. And then, oh, look, it's been discovered by, and you know, the moment it's been discovered by human, it's done for. It's done. It's done. It's the end of that species from now on, because once it's been discovered, it's going to be taken to experiments. It's going to be taken to, to a zoo. Yeah, a zoo where you can lock animals and go with your freaking kids on the weekend, or go on a date. Oh, look at this beautiful lion in the cage. You know, I don't want to see suffering animals. You know, the lion looks at you like he wants to eat you, and he freaking curse you like, what the fuck am I here, man? Well, you put me here with this freaking like 5x5. I can't fucking do shit over here. It's bullshit. And you know, I don't want to see that suffering, you know, if you don't release the lion. And then on the other hand, you have all those greens. Now, let me tell you, I have never seen like those people. They go and they release birds back to listen, I'm pro nature. I don't want animals to be in the zoo, but I also don't want to have freaking birds running around my neighborhood. And I know for a fact that in one place in the occupied land of South Tyrol in Italy, I know that they brought it's in the Italian Alps, which used to be part of Austria, and I'm gonna talk about that later if I'm gonna remember. And I know they specifically brought like birds from Romania and reintroduced them to nature, because we gotta reintroduce the birds into the mountains, and then and then those birds are freaking eating kids and hikers, and then people are going hiking, or just the kids standing, and the bird is freaking eating it for lunch. And then, oh, what happened? We don't know what happened. Let me tell you what happened. You just freaking released a killing machine back into an environment that is full of people and full of tourists hiking and walking around the woods and climbing mountains, which is where the birds live. And this is their habitat, the birds that you... And you know, they don't give a shit about you, those birds. They want to eat. And for them, you are lunch. And then you have people like dying, and you don't understand. This is how stupid people are. You see what I'm saying? This is how stupid you are. You're stupid. So, you know, there used to be a t-shirt in the 90s, I'm always stupid. So that's definitely I'm always stupid. I can point it everywhere. I'm gonna buy a t-shirt, and I'm gonna put like the pointing sign all over in a circle. I'm always stupid, because everybody is pretty stupid. That's what I think. And I'm not saying I'm better, but at least I'm not reintroducing birds into their own into like areas where people live, and then I don't know why people are dying. I don't understand. So this is happening in South Tyrol, which is an area that was used to be Austria, all the way almost to Verona, and it was the Alps. And then after World War II, if I'm not mistaken, the story is that the Americans the Allies didn't want to give, because Austria was split to basically raped by the Russians, and then French. It was split by until the 50s or something like that. It was part of it was belongs to the Russian. I don't know. There was some kind of and part of Austria was Russian, and part of Austria was and they didn't want to give the Russian a part that is so advantageous, because the mountains were like, and then they from there they that was like whatever the excuse. So they made it a part of Italy, and people over there still speak German in some places. There's a large population that is still would like to go back and be part of Austria, and they don't want to be Italians. That even though they have full autonomy, and their flag is red, white, which is the colors of Austria. Red, rot, weiß, rot, weiß. I don't remember how it works, and it's basically an occupied territory that has been occupied and taken from Austria. Österreich, the Eastern Reich, and it's still to date part of Italy. And I don't know. I don't see anyone demonstrating on the streets that all those poor Austrians are being occupied and abused by those Italians. And I don't see the Austrians, people who are living in those occupied territories, digging tunnels and kidnapping and raping and killing babies. But hey, who am I, to get involved in this bullshit? I'm just saying it's also an occupied territory. However, both sides decided that they're going to try and manage the situation in a peaceful manner and try to build great life for themselves and for their kids. And if you go there, you'll see that it's a very peaceful area. It's a beautiful place. And they found a solution. They have full autonomy. The German is also a formal language. And that's, the people can decide whatever they want. So it's kind of like half Italian, half Austrian. And it works. Because everybody said, you know what, we choose life over death. We care more about our life than we care about like being part of Austria. Even though also some Austrians feel that they have been like their pride has been hurt. But you don't see people in Austria really like going to the streets about that. Yet, when it happens in some other country that I'm not going to say its name, people feel the need to really go out there and really protest, and what's her name? Greta Thunberg, whatever. She goes on boats and So, hey, what can I tell you? Life is funny like that, and if you want to hate. I don't give a shit because I don't have skin in the game. I don't have kids. I just live in my life, and if you have kids and you propagate hate, you just need to know that it's coming right back at you. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I have to say. And yeah, I'm just going to close it and wish everybody great freaking whatever day that is. And when you go off yourself, just make sure you use a condom. That's about it.